Hello everyone, and welcome to my video on Newton's method for finding solutions to equations. Yes, I know, breathe, there's another way, but we'll come back to that in just a moment. My name's Darren from Maths Guru. Yes, you probably have found me before, my videos are all over the place, but I'm here trying to help you smash maths, and if you can, subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be massive. Learning objectives, understand how to use Newton's method to find solutions to equations, and apply the understanding to a range of problems. Pretty standard, really. Now, as I say, we've already come across ways of finding solutions to equations, yes? What is the solution to equation where it crosses the x-axis? And we've seen that we've got polynomial division, quadratic factorization, bisection method, which was awesome, and the more obvious using our CAS. I know, isn't it weird that we have a CAS course where we could just basically put it into a solve function, and yet we're still finding all these algebraic ways of doing it. I'm sure there must be a reason. Sacks, and sacks. Anyway, now there's always going to be one more way, and this way I think is pretty awesome. Now, this video is basically the exact same one for year 11 and year 12, because I think they pretty much copied the chapter from year 11 into year 12. But that doesn't matter. So how does Newton's method work? Now, one of the great thing is it looks at the idea of using gradients at particular points. So what you do is you effectively just choose a random point, because what we're trying to do is trying to find where where the function there crosses the x-axis. So let's, for example, say I choose randomly this point here, and I'm doing that deliberately for a reason. If I was to draw a tangent to that point, and he says I'm going to try really, really hard to draw a good tangent to that point. Oh, actually, that's not bad. If I draw a tangent to that point, what do I notice? Well, hopefully it's going to cross at a particular point. It's not the point I'm looking for, but it crosses at a point here. What if I now, outside of using this as my initial value, let's call that x0, my initial guess of where we think the root might be or might be near, I now use this value here. Well, if I now use that value there, all right, so if I now use that x value, and let's call that x1, for example, and I draw a tangent to that point, and then I'm going to move it so that it actually sits on the tangent, what do we notice? Well, again, if we now use the idea of where that point crosses the x-axis, we are much, much closer now, right? So I've started off with my initial guess here, found my equation of my tangent, found where that crossed the x-axis, use that as my new value of x1, again, find the equation of my tangent, found out where that crossed the x-axis, and again, I would go up here and draw a tangent, and what you tend to find is the closer and closer, the more tangents you draw, the closer and closer you get to your actual crossing point here. All right, now, the theory behind this is interesting, but I've tried to put all of the reasons behind it here. What really is important is that equation or formula there. Right, so we know, and again, by all means, pause the video, stop the video, go back, rethink it. It's really important to understand where this comes from, and then just put it in your summary book and use it in your CAS calculator. Oh yes, we're still going to use the CAS. But let's break it down. Step number one, we know generically the equation of a straight line, my favorite one in fact, can be found by y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And that presupposes you've got a gradient and a coordinate. You've got x1 and y1. Okay. Now we can re-express the gradient of m, right? We can re-express this m value at point x1 as f dashed of x1. Right? Because that's really what you're doing. Whenever we are finding the gradient of a tangent at a point, we are using the point. So I'm now going to say, well, let's have our m, which was here, be replaced by f dashed of x1. Okay. Now, because the theory suggests that having got this equation, we're looking at where it crosses the x-axis, where this equation of this tangent crosses the x-axis, we know the value of y1 is equal to 0. Try that one again. We know the value of y equals 0. Oops, nearly ran ahead there. Why? Because what do we know the x-axis is called? We know it's called y equals 0. So I now know that this value here is 0. Okay,